Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kulturecast. I'm Chris Stachiw, and I am joined by two people who are here almost always together, except for November. And he told me that far ahead in advance so that I know, so that I don't forget, because I wouldn't want to forget, because Richard won't be here in November, even though I...
Look, you're the one who sent the invitation.
I know.
So the fact that I responded,
it's true.
The fact that I probably will not be able to spend my birthday discussing the movie The Undead.
I wouldn't. If I had known it was your birthday, I wouldn't have sent you the invite to begin with. And now that I know when your birthday is, I will never send you an invite on that day again. That's how that works.
But what will you send me on that day? An edible arrangement?
Probably Ganged by the Mothmen, a Mothman sex story.
Great. All right. Thank you.
Signed by the author, one would hope. And if you can't tell already who we are joined by on this episode, good old Mr. Cullen Gallagher of Pulp, Serenade, and Richard Hatem of Los Angeles.
Of Los Angeles fame.
Yeah, of a West Coast fame.
You know, that's important considering we're talking about Chinatown. Boy, let me tell you, what an LA movie.
Boy, I don't think there's any more LA movies than that. So Cullen, since we have not given you a moment to say hello, Cullen, howdy. How excited are you to talk about Chinatown?
Quite. Very.
Because I feel like the reason we're talking about these movies this month is because I had never seen them. So I had never seen Chinatown up until this week, which, given how good this movie is, I will say that it is disappointing to me that it took me almost 31 years to watch it.
Why? I mean...
Because for me, there's no reason not to have seen this movie, because this movie is as good as everyone has said it is.
But isn't it kind of nice that I don't know, sometimes there is something kind of nice when you can see something. I don't know if it's serendipity, but you know, you came to it. It sounds like you really enjoyed it, which is great. I want to hear more about that. And
true.
There's something kind of special about that. Like I would rather that than like hear that you said like, oh my God, I sat down and over the course of 6 months, I watched every movie I was supposed to watch. And halfway through I got burned out and I fucking hate movies. Because I know people who like cram watching everything or reading everything, and then it just becomes a chore. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, you mean like hyper binging stuff?
Yeah, like this sounds lovely that you just you decided this was the right time to see the movie and you were able to enjoy it.
You know, that's an interesting point. I guess if you were like, well, I'm going to watch the AFI top 100 movies, and that was your steady diet, then all you would be doing is comparing those movies to each other. and then you'd be like, Apocalypse Now isn't so great. You'd be
Casablanca
like,
compared to The Godfather. Am I right?
Yeah, you'd be like all these sort of false, like jamming everything together. It's like, no, like stretch it out and watch, a bunch of crazy movies, then watch a classic and see how you feel.
I was going to say, Richard, I mean, the way you described it is actually what I've seen people react that way. When there'll be like a playlist on some streaming site or lists online, and they just go through them. And when you watch them in such a concentrated period, sometimes you're hyper and you're into it, you're in the zone and it works. But I feel like sometimes it can have the opposite effect, and you're just seeing too many similar things at the same time. Like it just ruins like the natural beauty and wonder of these things.
Well, and it fucks with the normal human instinct to sort of rank. Like if you said, okay, these are the top 3 restaurants in Brooklyn, and we're going to go to them on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, then automatically one of those would be third. And it'd be like, it's so good. But if you just went to that restaurant on some random night, 6 months from now, you'd probably have a great meal and go, I love that place.
That's fair.
Good way of putting it.
Do you know what the number 1 movie on the AFI Top 100 films is? You want to guess? It should be pretty obvious, right?
Citizen Kane.
Yeah, of course. Number 2 is
Citizen Kane 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh my God. I would love to see canon films version of Citizen Kane.
What about Citizen Kane 2, Secret of the Ooze?
I would like to see that as well.
Citizen Kane 2, Book of Shadows?
Citizen Kane 3, Tokyo Drift. My favorite Fast and Furious movie.
What about Fast and Furious Citizen Kane?
Yeah, that's going to be the 9th one, right?
Space? No, we're invading other film franchises.
Are they just going to do one of those? Because you can now bring dead actors back to life. Are they just going to like bring back Orson Welles and digitally put him in a vehicle next to Vin Diesel?
Shouldn't they?
Sure.
Why wouldn't they? At this point, what's stopping them? Nothing. Orson Welles' family.
You'd have to explain to the kids who that guy is. But
yeah, right. Who is that guy? Speaking of who is that guy, let's talk. But before we talk about Chinatown, we do have to get one thing out of the way because this is, I think, I want to check. I'm 99% sure this is the first time. And I hate to bring this up, and it's going to make some of us feel uncomfortable. This is the first Polanski film we've ever covered on the podcast. Yep. So just let's get it out of the way now. Yes, Roman Polanski is a piece of shit. Yes, it's hard to divorce him from his movies, given how amazing a lot of his films are. But unfortunately, Roman Polanski has done some really terrible things. And by really terrible, I mean one really terrible thing that's kind of dictated his entire life from then on out, since he can never come back to the United States. Should he do so, he would be arrested. But want to get that out of the way. Roman Polanski, I like his films, but him as a human being, terrible human being, right? Yes? Are we all in agreement?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say, really.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's like Woody Allen. Like, I love Woody Allen's movies, but like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I don't know him. I will assume that everything that they've said about him is true because it sounds plausible and believable. But
I mean, it's difficult. Well, think of it this way. Like, there are probably writers, novelists that I've read and really liked their work, and then later discovered things about them and their personal life that were not, super great. So, but for that period of time before I knew any of that, I was just looking at a product created by a person.
Right.
That, it's not like, it's not like the person's art is reflective of their personal sin necessarily. For instance, it's not like, okay, I'm writing about, these books that are, manifestly misogynist. And then we find out that, I murdered women or something.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, okay, well, that's what you're writing about. I mean, with Woody Allen, people say, well, he ended up with a woman decades younger than he is.
Right.
And a lot of his movies, or some of his most popular ones, involve relationships with very young women. Now, of course, Woody Allen says, well, yeah, but I mean, Diane Keaton, Mia Farrow, I've had long-term relationships with women who are my age. So what are you really saying? All of that aside, there may be things about Shakespeare we don't know that we don't want to know. So for now, let's try to enjoy Shakespeare before we know that he was a child rapist.
and that's the thing.
That is well said.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, look, the fact that Polanski made this movie is part of the reason that this film is so good. This film is a good film because it had a very competent auteur behind it. And so it is impossible to remove him from this movie, because if you don't have Polanski's vision as part of this film, it wouldn't have been very good. How do we know that? Because the Two Jakes has half of the people who were involved in Chinatown coming back, and it is awful.
Also, you have Sam Wasson's book, The Big Goodbye, which talks about how what Town and his uncredited writing partner, Edward Taylor, turned in was 180 pages, and Polanski was the one who, really, really cleaned that script up and helped focus the story and gave it the ending that it does, because it had a very different ending originally.
Yeah, the ending of Chinatown. I mean, when we talk about it, Polanski is the reason the film ends the way that it does. And even I think is it Town that said, like, they fought about the ending, and Town didn't want the ending to be the bleak ending that it has. He wanted it to be a positive, happy ending as much as it could be. And Polanski fought him and said, no, I want it to be my vision of a bleak ending. And the bleak ending of the film is one of the reasons this film is so good, because it reinforces the themes of the film right until the final reel.
I will give big props to Sam Wasson, who's a terrific writer, and who lives in Los Angeles. So he knows everything about this movie by virtue of living there. But he did, I'm in the middle of the book now, and he does a really fabulous job of talking about the creative process of the creation of this movie from, when it's a germ in, Robert Towne's eye, when he reads an article about, Raymond Chandler and, his sort of nostalgia for pre-war Los Angeles right after the Manson. He really does a fabulous job of, a really hard thing to talk about, which is the creative process when you have all these different minds. Anyway, Richard, I don't know. Richard, do you like the book? What do you think of it?
Just got it, haven't read it yet. So now I'm excited. So you got Flood and I got this, and we've both got something to look forward to.
Definitely.
Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Los Angeles, 1937. There are lots of guys like J.J. Gittes. They're easy to find, if you want to find them.
Mr. Gittes, have we ever met?
Well, no.
Never?
Never.
Since you agree with me that we've never met before, you must also agree with me that I've never hired you to do anything, certainly not spy on my husband. I don't get tough with anyone, Mr. Gittes. My lawyer does.
You do your job. And sometimes you find the answers to questions that should never be asked. Or you find out what happens to people who ask them.
Hold it there, kitty cat. You're a very nosy fellow, kitty cat, huh? You know what happens to a nosy fellow?
I dislike the word cheat.
Did you have affairs?
Mr. Gittes,
Did he know about it? Where were you when your husband died? You were seeing someone too. For very long?
I don't see anyone for very long, Mr. Gittes. It's difficult for me.
Mr. Gittes, you're dealing with a disturbed woman who's just lost her husband. I don't want her taken advantage of.
The truth. I said I want the truth!
Jake. I'm doing you a favor. Come on, Jake.
Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown.
You get tough. You get tender. You get close to each other. Maybe you even get close to the truth. Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway in a Robert Evans production of a Roman Polanski film, Chinatown.
So let's talk about it in the roundabout way. Cullen, first time you had seen it, not this is not the first time.
No.
When was the first time you saw Chinatown?
It was when I was going through the AFI's top 100 movie list back when it came out, like in 1990. What was it, like 97 or 98, maybe 96, some late 90s. Because I was, sitting in Maine and just going to the video store and seeing what I could find on tape. And
how old were you when you were doing this?
I probably saw this when I was like 12 or 13.
But I mean, I would give any if my 13-year-old was going through the AFI list. My God, all he wants to do, he's like, Dad, tomorrow you and I are going to watch a movie. Oh, really, Dashel? What movie are we going to watch? Bad Trip with Eric Andre.
Oh, hey now, Eric Andre. Come on, Eric Andre's amazing, Richard. Come on now.
I love Eric Andre. I love Tiffany Haddish. I'm like, he's like, look at the trailer, and I'm watching, and I'm like, well, okay, from the makers of Jackass. my kid is not, digging up, Roman Polanski movies for the two of us to watch and discuss.
I was stuck in small town Maine. Like, movies were how I got the hell out of that place. I mean, quite literally. I mean, because that's why I moved to New York, so I could, go to school and study film history. But movies were how I was able to escape being in a very small town.
There's something in the air up there in Maine, because the Stephen King comes from Maine too.
I used to see him coming out of Borders or at the hockey games.
Oh, really?
Oh, man.
Yeah, he was a good. I mean, I only talked to him briefly once, but he's a good dude. Gave a lot of money to, or it still does give a lot of money to, organizations. I think he was giving a lot of money to like our school newspaper, even though we weren't even in the same town. But anyway,
great.
He and Tabitha are very generous folks.
Oh, that's so great to hear. See, it's nice to hear good things about Stephen King, so I can continue enjoying his books.
His new book, Later, just published by Hard Case Crime, is fabulous.
I have read that. It was great. But that's an interesting thing. It's like, okay, look at it the other way. If everything you hear about a guy is great, does that mean you automatically like everything? And it's like, no. You can still read a Stephen King book and not like it. You can still judge the thing.
I was about to say, I feel like that's more often than not with recent Stephen King stuff. Does anyone like his more recent, like full-length novels? Not really. I'm talking like his like expansive epic stuff. Like
people, here's the joke. People love that stuff. Like if you go on Amazon or you talk to people who are in their 20s, they're like, hey, I just read the newest Stephen King book. It's fantastic. And then I get to be the old guy going, it's nothing compared to the Dead Zone. Now there's a book, but you again, that is sort of the weird thing. It's like, when you think about it, even people that you love, writers, film directors, even the ones that you love, if you take all of their work, and draw a line down the middle of the room and say, okay, put the best stuff on one side of the line and the rest on the other, the second pile is going to be bigger. It just is. It always will be. And that's your favorite person.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a very fair point. I never thought of it like that.
So Roman Polanski. Okay, so this is better than the Vampire Hunters.
Yeah, right. So Cullen, so you watched it when you were 12 or 13. What did you think rewatching it ostensibly today?
And I did rewatch it this afternoon. I still love this movie, and the thing that really impressed me about it is this came out in 1974, and it's set 37 years earlier, in 1938. They're doing the classic noir, private eye, fedora, LA story, but there's no winking. There's no element of pastiche or parody. No. It is way more sobering and chilling than the classic noir that they're sort of basing it off of. And I actually think that's really, really difficult to do, to take those tropes, to take those, symbols of the genre and do it decades later and not have it have some element of pastiche or winking. And I've been struggling trying to think of examples since Chinatown that have been able to pull that off. And again, set like in the 30s and 40s. Right. And I like LA Confidential, but I think even that has, it's a little stylized in a way that this film is not.
Why do you think that? Is that because of Roman Polanski?
I wonder. I'm really curious about that. And it might have something to do with the three of them, because according to Wasson, Robert Towne was not a detective fiction fan at all. He had never read Chandler. But the uncredited writing partner, Edward Taylor, had thousands of detective novels. And I think maybe sort of like the combination of the two of them, they were able to sort of bring in those elements from the genre. Towne brought in, this, he really wanted to talk about the water issues and the politics. And then from what it sounds like also is a lot of the stuff about the incest and the more personal stuff came from someone that he knew. And then I feel like, when Polanski came in, he saw all of this, and it sounds like he was able to isolate, this is Jake Gittes, he is the character, this is his story. And I don't think Polanski or any of those people post Manson were trying to make a joke about LA. I think something had seriously changed, and it feels like heavy. Yeah,
the first thing, one of the first things I noticed today was that it wasn't, he's not a cheap detective, No. He's not. He's wearing a great suit every time you see him. He's got two operatives working for him. He drives a fantastic car. He's not secretary. He's got a secretary. He's a totally solid citizen. There's none of that sort of like
bugs crashing your pack's party. Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondersight comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed, lab proven to work fast, and proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wonderside's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wonderside.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wonderside.com. Wonderside. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wonderside today.
Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24 related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hey, you're a bum, Gittes. It's like, no, he does. The guy in the barbershop sort of says that, what you did is, you're just chasing down people having affairs. But there's nothing about him that says he's sleazy or anything like that at all. So it doesn't necessarily follow in the most popular trope of.
You're right about that. And I would agree. It kind of takes the design of the classic PI and then says, like, okay, what would a real private eye have been like?
Right.
He would have had to do work to pay bills. He's not going to give the middle finger just, because he wants to be cool and like sit there and drink himself to death.
And you know what's missing from this film? And this is something I noticed just right off the bat. And this was something I was expecting. And I was pleasantly surprised because it didn't pay into the expectations I had. There's no narration.
Nope.
There's no narration. And I was expecting it. I honestly, again, a trope that feels part and parcel kind of with the noir genre. So much so that when they made a film like Blade Runner, they put narration in it. And it's, a sci-fi movie, but it's a noir film. So they said, need to put narration. But in this film, there's no narration. But I mean, I was expecting it. I mean, like you said, Cullen, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in this movie that is not expectation. It's not that pastiche that all of us kind of know and expect from something like this, which I think works in this film's favor more so than a lot of things. It just feels very grounded in reality, in a real version of LA, not a, romanticized version of LA.
Where did you first see this movie and what did you think of it?
I first saw it at USC when I was going to film school. But when I was going to film school, every movie that they told us to watch that they said was great, I was like,
Richard,
let's just see if it's better than Raiders. Because that was
was this better than Raiders at the time?
No, I mean, I enjoyed it, but I'm like, I don't get why this is a great movie. I mean, it's just like, okay, it was a thing. There was a plot. It ended, it was fun to watch, Jack Nicholson, great. But I mean, how this is better than a lot of other movies, I don't really get. But that's a very common sort of, 18-year-old sort of like, movies are supposed to be entertaining. So how come Citizen Kane isn't entertaining me as hard as, Arthur?
I like that phrase, by the way, entertaining me as hard. I mean, I don't know how, the ranking system doesn't seem to be based off of, it seems to be based off of objectively better things than others, less subjective, right? Like, I've never seen Citizen Kane. I'm watching it later this month. I've never seen it. And my opinion on movies isn't wrong because I've never seen it.
No, but you're going to watch it and go, oh, okay, I guess like you really do need film school to tell you. You need film school to go, okay, here's why everyone thinks this movie's a big deal. It's because up until this point, everyone was doing this. And then suddenly this guy did this and everyone's like, what the fuck? And it changed the way we, the language of film. But it is really hard because there is nothing more designed for mass consumption for anyone, from the highest intellectual to the lowest man on the street. Nothing is more designed for popular consumption than movies, but nothing is harder to understand if you try to break down the language and go, okay, what is the meaning of this shot? And how do you explain it in terms of composition, lighting, costume, duration, edit? I mean, it's just it's like this mathematical equation that you can't understand and you can't figure it out. And the people who do it best are the ones who don't understand it at all. They only understand the emotion of it, and they key into that emotion so strongly. And it's like Scorsese. They remember every movie they ever saw, every frame of it, and what they felt when that frame was on screen. And that's their equivalency. And that's how they know, okay, when I'm making my movie, if I want people to feel a certain way, then it's got to feel like that scene in that movie from that thing at that time. And then you just copy it. But it when you try to really break it down and explain it, it's hard. So going to film school, you think it's going to be fun and it's just going to be like going to the movies every day. And instead you're like, oh, this is like learning Aramaic. I don't know what they're talking about.
I don't know if you know this, but in Latin, Jehovah is spelled with an I. Did you know that?
Jehovah?
No, you're talking about Aramaic. I just think of Last Crusade. That's all I ever think of but in Latin, Jehovah is spelled with an I. Look, we're
being educated.
Yeah, but here's to your point, like the whole film school thing it is about teaching you about the language of movies, right? I mean, that's why you would go.
Yeah.
And that to me, like whenever I hear people say like, I like fucking film school is stupid, like it might be for some people, but a lot of people, it on top of everything else, film school is probably more about making connections with people than anything else, like going to school is pretty much anyways. Like,
yeah, I mean, like ultimately, yeah. My career was transformed.
Yeah.
I met Matt Reeves. We became best friends. We wrote a movie together. It sold, and that was the beginning of my career.
Yeah.
But it is a weird thing because, again, what the 18-year-old wants out of that experience is, how do I make a fucking kick-ass movie? But that's not what the USC faculty wants.
Right.
First of all, they want to make you feel like shit and discourage you. USC was a fucking disaster in the 80s, and I hear it's not much better now. I mean, literally, it's a bunch of old white guys going, filmmaking's tough, and if you can do something else, go do that.
I guess I dodged that bullet when I didn't go there.
I was about to say, good Lord. Thank God I didn't do that either.
The people who went to NYU had a better experience. I mean, those people are like, it's like,
look at that.
It was just...
There was a thumbs down, though. There was a thumbs down.
I've heard that the NYU thing is just like, you just have to go out and make your movie, and you just got to figure out a way to go make it. USC was like, you got to figure out a way to kiss our ass, and jump through our hoops. And, oh, by the way, well, that's what you have to do in Hollywood. So, and it's like, fuck you. I'm paying money to go here. Don't make, I've got to do backflips and then only some of us get to make a movie and all that. I didn't even know how to write a movie. When I got out of film school in the 80s, I was able to graduate film production without taking a single class on how to write a feature-length film, which is the only way you could ever get into the industry. And it wasn't part of the curriculum.
That's fucking bonkers.
Changed, but it's fucking bonkers.
What?
I know. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I'm not here just to complain about USC. That's where I first saw Chinatown. And But what was funny is that I watch it now and all I think of is like, hey, I know where they filmed that. It's like, that there's that scene early on in the movie where he follows Hollis Mulwray and Hollis walks down the sort of that cliff by the sea and by that corrugated metal pipe. And he goes all the way down and Gittes is hanging out up above.
Yeah.
And then hours go by and then suddenly water starts pouring out. Well, that's all filmed at a place in San Pedro called Point Furman, which is a lighthouse. And that's the light you see behind Hollis when it's nighttime. It's actually they just lit up the lighthouse. But it's an old historic lighthouse. and it's on just right on the edge of San Pedro, over the cliffs that look out into the Pacific Ocean. And that fence that he walks through to then go down, that whole area is called Sunken City. And the reason it's called that is because that little stretch of road that Gittes parks on, and he puts the stopwatch under the tire, that used to continue on and go all the way out and go for miles. But that road was built, oddly enough, like the dam they talked about, on like weak shale. And after a couple of earthquakes, the whole highway just sank.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
And this whole chunk of highway just went, and it's still there. And now artists have gone down there over the decades and spray painted and painted stuff. And it's amazing. And you can just walk right down there and walk on these jagged slabs of pavement that have all sunken. And anyway, that's where that is. So a little bit of LA geographical history for you.
That sounds
If
amazing.
you ever visit, we will all go down there, go to that little diner that he parks in front of. That's an actual diner. It's a real motorcycle kind of place where, you just go get a bad hamburger. But we should go down and check it out when you guys come out.
Bad hamburger sounds great.
Richard just wants to take us to a biker bar is what it sounds like, which I'm down for.
Yeah.
Walk in the door, they just look at us. They're just like, you guys lost or looking for look
Cullen
anywhere
will
else?
fit in just fine.
Yeah.
Yes, I have my metal shirt on.
Yeah, you and I probably not so much, Richard.
Yeah.
It's why do you keep saying Gittes? I thought it was Gittes.
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface-level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind-the-scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, and let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.
Mr. Gittes. Okay, like as much as I love I love Jack Nicholson in this movie. This is probably going to be, I think, the Nicholson performance that I gauge every Nicholson performance against, which used to be his performance as the Joker in Batman, which says a lot about me as a human being. But Jesus H. Christ, John Huston in this film is horrifying.
He's a horrifying guy.
But the thing is, like, the thing about this movie, if you don't know the plot, we've completely just not done the usual on this podcast, but that's okay, because this movie, I think, is just, there's no point in discussing the plot, because discussing the plot of this movie would make me give you a reason to not watch it, and you should just go watch it. So I'm not going to say what the plot is. Never mind. John Huston plays the film's villain, and the character that he plays is so horrifying because he never drops that facade. Not once in the entire film. And knowing what we know now about people in our real reality, it feels way too close to home. And I'm sure it did in 74.
Because he's not like, it's not like he's, a gangster. Or
he's not twirling his, he's never twirling his mustache. Yeah, there's no mustache twirling.
He's just a very rich guy doing rich guy stuff. And he does not on any level, I don't think he looks at this equation and finds himself on the bad side at all. He's just, I'm just doing what I'm doing.
He raped his daughter. I just did it. I raped her, whatever. Like, that is the amount of dismissiveness with the things that happened in this movie regarding his character. He's like, yeah, okay. I drowned him. Yeah, so what? What are you going to do about it? You can't prove it. And even if you could prove it, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's what it is. I mean, again, there's nothing... I don't think he thought the relationship he had with his daughter that produced another child. I don't think he thinks there's anything necessarily wrong with that. It's just something he wanted at the time that he wanted it. And then something happened, and frankly, he's trying to make it right. He's like, no, I want a relationship with this young woman. So, why are you getting upset at me? Come on.
The films, I don't know where the film's morality lies because of how kind of, I don't know, because Jack Nicholson's character I think he's a morally just character to a point. It would seem he does what it takes. He does what he needs to get things done. But I don't think, because I mean, in The Two Jakes, which is the sequel to Chinatown, he says he would never do blackmail. Blackmail is the line that he draws, quote unquote. But like, I guess, I don't know. I mean, Gittes as a character is meant to be the audience, but also the hero.
I don't think he quite realizes how mean the world is that he lives in. I think he thinks that he's pretty smart. I think he thinks that he's, clever enough to get by. He understands the motivations of people. He knows why people do the bad things they do. And by the end of this movie, he's just gobsmacked with just like how cruel people can be to each other, the horrible things they can do, and the fact that they can get away with it, that when he asks, John Huston's character, like, oh, why are you trying to, manipulate the city? And he's just like, because I can, and I know how to. And it's just like, that's the scary part for him. Is just like, this guy actually legit does know how to do these fucking crazy, crazy world altering things. And he has the power to do it. And I think at the end, the Jack Nicholson character is just, so small, and, nothing that he did matters at all.
Literally nothing.
You've just pointed out another trope that this movie does not embrace, which is the cynical private eye,
right?
Who cannot be shocked and is hard boiled, and nothing. Again, there's nothing out there you could show him that would cause his knees to shake.
Right.
And you're right. That's not Jack Nicholson at all. This is a movie about a guy who is not the most cynical guy in the room by a long shot.
And the funny thing is, if you look at the way Chinatown ends and then you watch his character in The Two Jakes, it's not even the same character. It doesn't even, I'll just be upfront. I failed to mention to Richard that we watched The Two Jakes, but Richard dodged a bullet by me not mentioning it, because it is that bad. The moment the movie starts, you look at Jack Nicholson and go, this is an old man now. This is a character who doesn't even embody the same feeling as his old character from the first scene. He's not changed by what happened in Chinatown. He's just back to the way he was at the beginning of Chinatown. He's almost so different from his character in Chinatown that it might as well have not been a sequel to Chinatown.
Except for the fact that they bring in the daughter from Chinatown,
right,
into the plot.
Oh, which felt so completely out of left field and so bizarre and unearned. Just why?
I think for me, with The Two Jakes, I knew I was going to hate the movie within 30 seconds.
It is really
honestly because the style is so different than Chinatown. Jack Nicholson speaking hard-boiled speak. He's using these really ridiculous hard-boiled similes that just sounds so contrived. He's acting like someone that's seen a bunch of Bogart movies.
Right.
Even like the costumes and the sets just feel really phony.
You don't like Jack Nicholson in a black shirt and a blazer? It's so fucking lazy. Like, I don't understand. There's the early parts of the movie is Jack Nicholson wearing a black polo and a blazer over it. It's like nothing. This is not the same guy.
Works. But to go back to Chinatown, the dialogue just it's tough, but it doesn't seem unrealistic. Like, I buy it completely.
Yeah.
Richard, I mean, you pointed out the fact that the locations are all real. Everything about that movie just feels authentic. Like, even though it's made in 1974, it doesn't feel like a 1970s, evocation of the 1930s. They did a really, really incredible job. The production designer, the costume designer. It's a really impressive movie.
Yeah, his suits are so great. And I'm not the kind of guy who watches a movie for wardrobe, but I was salivating over those suits. Even the material of that coat that he wore when he was having the outdoor lunch when he first meets Noah Cross, that sort of buttery wool. I don't know what the hell it was, but I was like, what is that? Oh my God, do clothes exist like that anymore?
This is a movie where I'm very happy to have a Blu-ray copy, and I would I cannot wait to see a 35 print of this projected on a big screen at some point, because of the details you're talking about, Richard. Like, they picked that cloth for a reason, and every dollar of the production is on the screen, in my opinion.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out what that restaurant was where he meets Evelyn Mulray, but I couldn't figure it out. Because it's not Musso and Frank, and it's not the Smokehouse. It might be because I don't think they built it because it's pretty big considering, and we don't see a lot of it. But it might be the dining room at the old Roosevelt Hotel. That's as close as I could get on that one. But yeah. It's just so wonderful to just sit back and watch. And I don't usually feel that way about movies, but just relaxing. I was not, it's leisurely paced, and I did not find myself getting bored. I was pretty riveted at every frame I was watching.
I completely agree. There's a lot of movies this month that I'm kind of dreading watching. This was not one of them. I'm dreading watching. What about Saving Private Ryan? I'm just worried. I'm dreading it because for me, I tend not to really delve too far into super, super duper serious stuff. Like, I try to balance it out. And this month is almost completely serious movies, like very much dramas or drama adjacent. And for me, those are just that's not in my wheelhouse. And that's why most of the movies this month are dramas, like Chinatown, Saving Private Ryan, Do the Right Thing, Citizen Kane. Fun, subjective. I would say Chinatown's a fun movie, but fun movies this month are not going to be fun as normally seen.
I hope you like Citizen Kane, and I hope you go back to it over the years to come. I think it's still an exciting movie to watch, and I think it gets more fun the more times you see it, and this sort of the prestige wears off, and you can just kind of appreciate it for being a fucking really well-made movie.
Yeah. I was going to say all of these movies, have a certain energy to them. You're not going to be bored by Citizen Kane, Do the Right Thing, Saving Private Ryan. It's, may not be Spielberg's greatest movie, but it's, totally captivating. I mean, look, I don't want to start talking about, the worst part of Saving Private Ryan is this sort of bookend framing device.
Yeah.
So chop that off and you got a pretty, entertaining movie in the middle. But anyway, whatever, you'll see it.
Again, it's just, I'm again, for me, everybody, I know we all say we watch everything, but we all kind of have one genre that we just don't always watch more of. And for me, drama is just pure drama films are just not my thing for the most part. And I have no problem admitting it. And I'm trying to rectify that. Obviously, I'm not saying I will never watch Citizen Kane. Never. Like, I would never do that because I know it's an important movie. I mean, I've never seen it, and I know it's important.
Okay, so you'd never seen this, but you were pleasantly surprised, right?
No, I knew this was going to be good. This exceeded my expectations, and my expectations were already really high.
All right, all right.
That's the thing about this movie. Like, this movie beyond exceeded my expectations. Like, I know people said, like, this is a really good movie. AFI Top 100, nominated for 11 Academy Awards, all these culturally significant, blah, 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 all the things that movies like this have. And sometimes they don't live up to it. Sometimes it's just like, I see why this is important, but for me, it's not something I would revisit. I would rewatch this again right now. I will probably rewatch it again before the, before next Thursday, before a week from now, I will probably have watched it at least one more time. So,
wasn't it fun to see John Hillerman?
Given that I'd only ever seen him in one other thing, as Gavy Johnson in fucking Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles. Okay. And what about James Hong?
James Hong has been around for a long time, hadn't he?
The number of movies where I'm like, oh my God, it's him. I mean, it's that guy. He shows up.
I'm trying to pull up his filmography now.
600.
Shit.
600, Cullen.
Yeah, it's got to be hundreds.
I gotta say, I love Burt Young in this.
Curly.
Burt Young. Oh, that's right. I'm like,
at the beginning.
Thinking, people keep showing up. And I'm like, oh, that guy. Yeah, Burt Young.
He's just perfect. Just like his face, his body language. He just appears on screen, and it's just like, I know that guy's story. I know his character.
Well, so wait, chronologically, was this? This is before Rocky.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Young Burt Young.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Burt Young. Burt Young he's a fantastic character actor. He's great in this as just kind of the schlubby husband. He plays the word I was thinking of. He plays the schlubby husband so well. I mean, it's like perfect with like the wife beater and like the unkempt hair. It's like he's the perfect schlubby guy. I mean,
and he's literally a wife beater.
Yeah, literally.
This movie. It's like, okay. Well.
And then you have Roman Polanski show up for one of the film's kind of more famous scenes where Jack Nicholson gets his nostril slashed. Which, by the way, the thing with the bandage, I mean, come on, right? It's somehow like it shouldn't work, but in this movie, it's so iconic that it's on the cover of the book that both of y'all have. I mean, it's right there. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like that's what you know from this movie is Jack Nicholson and the thing with the bandage, because that's like the iconic look from this movie is him with the bandage on his nose.
Is that a joke? Like the someone has like a nose for something because they're good at like digging or detective work, and he's really bad at being a detective. I don't know, or maybe bad is the wrong word.
Yeah, it's more like it's sort of a symbol, but it gets called out pretty directly by the Roman Polanski character by saying, "Hey, you're sticking your nose in things you shouldn't, and it might get cut off." But then that is the idea. It's you're getting into something you shouldn't get into. But who was the Roman Polanski character? Like, what was he? Someone who worked for Noah Cross, or what was his part in all of this?
Yeah, I think he was one of the. Just one of the thugs that's sort of like protecting this this conspiracy behind the scenes. Because then he later appears
in Chinatown at the end, right?
I was thinking when they go to the nursing home.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
There, but like one of those two guys, either he or his buddy is there as well. So it's just like there's someone you can call when this shit's about to be about.
It's the nurse. It's the nursing
somebody
home.
On Noah Cross's payroll.
Yeah.
Just some guy. Okay.
So question, and this is something kind of curious because this is also another time that we've first, at least very obvious time we've run into this. Does Roman Polanski being in this movie, is that distracting that he's in it?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, because sometimes
I don't think most people know who he is. I think most people saw the movie and didn't just thought it was a guy.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about now. I have a question because again, what directors getting involved in their own movies is not super common, but the people who did it, it was obvious, like Hitchcock, like Tarantino does now.
M. Night Shyamalan.
God, oh, that's right. holy shit, he's even more in his movies more than most people.
I don't think I've seen a M. Night Shyamalan movie.
You've seen The Sixth Sense.
No.
Oh,
I haven't seen the Sixth. I haven't seen The Sixth Sense either.
Oh, guys, I know you
Colin,
already know the twist.
we missed the opportunity to watch The Sixth Sense together. Apparently,
Shyamalan month.
Jesus!
You don't need to see anything else, but see that, and then
Signs is good. Come on, Richard.
No, I hadn't seen Signs until last Halloween, and I watched it. No, don't.
It has one. Come on, it has one good moment. The Joaquin Phoenix, the Joaquin Phoenix in the closet is a good moment.
No, I'm not saying it's not an entertaining movie.
It's not an entertaining movie. It just has one good moment. It has a really good, effective moment.
Right. Here's the thing about The Sixth Sense, and then we'll move on. It's not like, oh, go see it before someone tells you the twist. You know the twist.
Yeah.
Here's what's great about it that no one understands in terms of all the other movies that have been made like it since then, is that the twist ending of The Sixth Sense is totally unnecessary to the movie.
Yeah.
If they had not done it, the movie would still be 100% as good as it is with the twist. The twist was like cool, but you weren't watching the movie going, okay, this isn't making sense. They're holding something back from us. I'm just going to wait until they sort their shit out. Now that's every other movie that's been made since then.
Pretty much.
The only two movies that I have seen that have ever been good that have had a big twist at the end would have been good without the big twist. And the two movies are Sixth Sense and The Others, the Nicole Kidman movie.
I still need to see that.
Oh, it's a wonderful movie. You'll enjoy them both.
Cool.
The time will not have affected them at all.
So given that this month is kind of a celebration of good movies in a way, since pretty much everything I would assume everything I watch this month is a good film by most people's definition. Cullen, you would agree, right, Richard?
Yeah.
Question. So, with something like The Sixth Sense and that twist, like you said, Richard, the idea behind twist endings in movies, I think that, like what you said, is so lost on so many people. Your film should not hinge on the twist so much that the twist not being there ruins the movie.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what they did. And it's so funny, by the way, that the twist in The Sixth Sense was part of a late rewrite. It was not written for the twist at all. It was like it was like, wait a second. And then like literally draft 20, it was like, hey, what we could do, boom, boom, boom. It was almost done in the editing. But then all of his other movies since then, well, not all of them, but The Village and the whatever, it's like, oh, it's gotta be, you gotta do that thing again, where at the end it's like, but wait a second, it's like, do you? You don't, that's not the hallmark of a good movie.
It's almost like what Twilight Zone and Tales from the Crypt did, where it was like you have trained your audience to expect a twist. And if there isn't a twist, you're disappointed.
And that's the worst part about it, because you can't do it. So everyone's going, all right, there's going to be a twist. So then you're sitting there and you're waiting for the wrong thing.
Yeah.
When you should just be processing the movie. And it's hard because then later you watch these movies and you're like, well, I guess they're okay. And then it had a twist. I mean, you have to find someone who, grew up in the woods and then show them The Village before they see The Sixth Sense and see if it affects them. I mean, you're going to have to raise clones and show them later M. Night Shyamalan movies just to find out if they worked, because no one else in the world can experience them legitimately.
No.
Hello and welcome to Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys. My name is Hunter. In this podcast, I'll be joined by a different guest each week to discuss a classic Western movie or TV show. I've been a fan of classic Westerns for as long as I can remember, and in recent years, they've become very nostalgic for me. I love the aesthetic, the tropes, and I love seeing different filmmakers' takes on them. At their best, they're incredibly entertaining, rewatchable, and some of my all-time favorite movies are Westerns. We'll mostly focus on Western movies made in Hollywood, but we'll also be covering spaghetti Westerns, and one thing I'm very excited to get into are Western TV shows. I've got some amazing guests coming on the show, film professors, historians, and podcasters. And Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys is part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, and many guests on the show will be from other shows on the network. Thanks for listening.
Him.
Is The Departed considered a movie with a twist?
What? The Scorsese movie?
Yeah. Is it?
Did it have a twist?
I mean, yeah, I think so. You've seen it, right, Cullen?
I mean, I saw that in Infernal Affairs, but I probably haven't seen them in. I haven't seen The Departed since it came out, and I saw Infernal Affairs a few years before that. So
I just wonder, like, what constitutes a twist? Because for me, the twist in The Departed, and I'm not going to ruin it because it doesn't matter either way.
Look, it's been 20 years.
Yeah, 10,
15 years.
It's outside of the kind of the realm of not ruining it. So the big twist in The Departed is Leo DiCaprio's character gets murdered in the last like 3 minutes of the movie. Is that not a twist? I mean, I don't know. Like, what constitutes a twist anymore?
No. A twist is, well...
Yeah,
okay.
See, that's the question.
Okay, well, here's how I would try to define it. A twist is something like The Sixth Sense that suddenly you reevaluate a lot of what you have been seeing.
Almost the entire film.
Right. It's like, oh, okay, so it's seen like this and like this.
Right.
Okay. But plot and this is a film school thing because everyone was trying to write, weird, twisty stories. Having a shocking plot development, a character suddenly dying, I don't think is a twist necessarily. But for me, it's not so much having a random thing happening as much as it is you have to set an audience expectation in a particular direction and then pay it off in an unexpected way.
Right.
For me, that's a twist, not just, oh, that guy died. I wasn't expecting that.
I would agree with that. I think of a movie I really want to revisit, That Cold Day in the Park by Robert Altman. It's like one of his early 70s thrillers. And let me get the date for you. 69. So it's early for him. Sandy Dennis is in it, but she's in this, apartment, and she's sort of like looking out the window, and there's this, young man she always sees sitting on a bench, and it's a little mysterious, like, oh, who is this guy? And then it's raining, and, she decides to let him in, and you're just like, okay, oh no, he's going to do something bad. She shouldn't have done this. She shouldn't have done this. And then he's in, she puts him in a room and then shuts the door and leaves, and he's in the room. And I think he looks at the doorknob and then it locks and she's locked him in. And for me, that's a little twist. I'm not giving anything away from the story. It happens pretty quickly, but it's like, oh, wait, we were scared of him. Why is she inviting this guy in here? And to me, that's like a little plot twist because you have to like reevaluate, as you said, Richard. This is the way I thought the movie was going. Maybe I had it wrong.
Yeah.
That's also a great movie, by the way.
Do you guys remember, and no one talks about this movie anymore. I honestly can't remember if it was any good, but all anyone talked about was like, oh my God, this thing happens. But do you remember The Crying Game?
I have wanted to see this for a long time. I still have not.
But I remember people going, oh my God. And I would say that as a twist because you definitely had an expectation.
Oh yeah.
That suddenly was like, oh, my understanding is was wrong. But beyond that, I can't remember if I thought it was like a good movie. Like by the end, I was like, oh, okay, wow, solid. You told me a story. I can't remember. And no one talks about it now. No one is ever like, go back and see The Crying Game. It's a great movie.
Is that Neil Jordan?
Yeah.
He made it?
I mean, that may speak volumes as to why no one talks about it, Richard.
But he was good. I mean, Neil Jordan was good. I enjoyed Neil Jordan movies. I just don't remember. It's like he just suddenly stopped or something.
I mean, it was like Breakfast on Pluto was supposed to be pretty good, I think.
When was that?
I think, is that him? I could be totally wrong. He's a guy I'm not that familiar with. Oh yeah, Breakfast on Pluto was 2005. Company of Wolves I've been meaning to see. I mean, Mona Lisa's great.
Oh yeah. But seriously, when was Breakfast on Pluto his last movie?
He did a 2018 film, and then he did The Borgias before that, the TV series in 2011 through 2013.
All right.
So his 2018 film was a young woman befriends a lonely widow who's harboring a dark and deadly agenda toward her. Isabelle Huppert in it.
Neil Jordan is French, British,
Irish.
Okay, I was close. That was gonna be next.
Is this? I guess is this the movie that gave Faye Dunaway kind of the weird reception that she has in Hollywood? Is this the reason that Faye Dunaway is kind of bemoaned by so many people in Hollywood.
What do you mean?
I don't know if y'all have ever heard of a podcast called Film Spotting.
No, I haven't.
Long ago, and it still exists. It's still a very popular podcast. It's honestly, it's probably, I'll just go out and say it because I don't give a shit. Because two of the three of us have been on our good friend Michael White's podcast, The Projection Booth. It's kind of like the proto Projection Booth. But they always had like a thing where they would talk about like Faye Dunaway and how one of the hosts didn't like her. And I guess I just kind of assumed that was the general consensus.
I mean, she made a lot of great movies. Like
she did, including this movie.
Hurry Sundown is great. Bonnie and Clyde, Thomas Crown Affair, Little Big Man. I still haven't seen Puzzle of a Downfalled Child, but it's supposed to be great. Doc is amazing. Chinatown, Network, 3 Days of the Condor, Eyes of Lower Mars.
Like, I just never understood. Like, they were like Faye Dunaway, and it's like, this is the first movie I've ever seen her in. So, like, outside of the Roman Polanski thing between her and Polanski, which the story sounds fucking nuts.
I don't know it. Tell me.
Richard, do you know this story?
No, I don't think.
So during the filming of Chinatown, Polanski and Dunaway apparently did not get along because, it's described as Polanski being abrupt and abrasive and Dunaway being temperamental. And I'm not going to say the other word because I don't really think we should be using the word histrionic anymore. I think histrionic is a fucking word that serves no purpose in polite society. But apparently he was a pain in the ass. She was a pain in the ass. And then Jack Nicholson said she demonstrated certifiable proof of insanity. But there is a scene, the scene in the film that kind of gets brought up a lot is I don't know exactly what it was. The scene inside of the Brown Derby. Polanski went and pulled an errant hair out of Dunaway's head.
What?
Yeah. So during the scene set inside the Brown Derby, Polanski tried to shoot past the loose strand in what would have otherwise been a perfect 1930s Marcel, tight blonde and lacquered against her skull a la Jean Harlow. But eventually Polanski plucked it from Dunaway's scalp. She shrieked at Polanski, "Don't you ever do that sort of thing to me again." And then she ran off to her trailer. Roman Polanski remembers her saying, "I just don't believe it. That motherfucker pulled my hair out."
Yeah, that's a dick move.
That is a dick move,
to say the least. That is not cool. That is very uncalled for.
That is very what do we like to say? Old school director E. It's like what Hitchcock would do to some of his actresses, just put him through the fucking ringer for no reason.
I mean, I feel like that's a very dick move to do.
I mean, you always hear these things about Hitchcock kind of putting his actresses through the ringer. I don't get it. I mean, I understand you're trying to coax performances out of people, but
I don't think that was common back then either. I feel like those stories stand out about Hitchcock because they, were, uncommonly cruel. I haven't heard those stories about Roy Del Ruth, who we were talking about last month with Blonde Crazy.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah,
he wasn't pulling out anybody's hair.
No, you don't have to be
in those performances.
Yeah, you don't have to be a dick to work in this industry, and you don't have to be a dick to get good performances out of people. It's just it doesn't. The stories like that just make me question, like, is this all worth it in the end? Like, yes, Chinatown's amazing, but like treating actors like garbage, being abrasive towards them, like you need them to work with you. You can't have them hate you because then they won't want to do a good job.
It's the argument, the story, the question, is like, well, they were a jerk, but look at the great movie.
Right.
They were an asshole, but read the great book. And it's a false causality, not equivalency. Maybe it's a false equivalency. But people have adopted that over the years, the thought that, well, artists get a free pass because they're just so triggered by their muse and they're, connected to something
tunnel
else
vision.
The rest of us aren't. They're special. And so, yes, of course, they're going to be assholes and misogynists and violent and addicts, and the list goes on and on.
The artistic spirit overcomes them.
Right. And they get a free pass. But then it's like, well, I mean, except for the fact that apparently, Spielberg isn't a bad guy and he's done some great movies, and Scorsese's not a bad guy and he's made some great movies. And then you just go down an entire list of like, well, that was a great movie.
Poke holes in it.
Yeah. And then you arrive at the answer, which is, well, these are people, and again, you could go to sports and politics. It's like, no, they're just, certain people are assholes, and they find themselves in careers and professions that seem to have carved out a space for that.
Right.
And so they gravitate there because there are certain personality aspects, those of ambition and ego, that go along with, success in politics, sports, and art, but also bring along with them sometimes asshole behavior.
Yeah.
And so that's why you see it. Plus, these are very high profile professions. So we're all very aware of those types.
Right.
The politician, the sports star, the director, actor, writer, whatever. So, but is it necessary? And this is all Hollywood is talking about now. This is all LA is talking about now. Is it necessary? And should we overlook it? And the resounding answer in 2021 is no, it is not normal. It is not necessary. It is shitty behavior, and it should get called out. And why are we torturing ourselves? Because there are nice people out there running shows and starring in shows, and there's a way to have a good life. And why don't we have it in all aspects and in every career and in every occupation?
This message brought to you by the people for Richard Hatem for president. Yeah. Just doing my duty, sir. Talking about Chinatown and kind of how important I think it is to cinema. I can't talk to the academic value of it because I've only seen it once, and I haven't delved into it multiple times. But this for me is just one of these films that when I think about it now, all I can think is like, it really is one of the tightest, most proficiently made films I've ever seen. And it's in a very small list of films that live in that universe where I watch it and I just go, if there's something wrong with this movie, I don't know what it is.
Along those lines, Richard, this is something I was hoping you would speak to as a writer. What really stands out, to me about this movie is the script. And everyone has always talked about how well written this movie is. And just going through Sam Wasson's book and seeing all of these like subplots and drug addiction and affairs and all these other things that Robert Towne thought was really essential to the story. And I'm just like, what we see on screen just seems to function so smoothly, the way that, bits of plot that are actually so complicated, it's actually really hard to explain them. But when you watch them on screen, it makes sense. The way that the revelations are timed, it seems so beautifully constructed. And then you look at the two Jakes, and there's just so many unnecessary scenes, unnecessary bits of dialogue, character elements, fucking entire characters and subplots. It's just such a mess.
And it's really surprising given that it's written by the same person. But again, like you mentioned, Cullen, like you've mentioned, Richard, I think that Chinatown without Polanski is probably closer to the two Jakes than it is to Chinatown. Yeah, but like you said, Polanski helped whittle down that Chinatown script and focus it.
Like, I was not aware. Well, I was just going to say, Cullen, you mentioned a couple times there was an uncredited or an unknown co-writer who was involved, and I haven't read the Wasson book yet, so I don't know the backstory. But I know this movie has always been called out for its screenplay, and I'm always excited when someone's excited about a screenplay, but I wouldn't necessarily say that's the reason it's a great movie. At the time, it was part of a lot of it felt like it was sort of fit into a lot of 70s filmmaking, which did seem to be about cynicism and distrust of government or large structures, and yet it is hard to know. I haven't read the screenplay. I don't know how much Robert Towne wrote or how much his co-writer wrote or how much Roman Polanski then was involved. I mean, look, there's a lot of stories about, like the only thing they consumed more than film on this movie was cocaine. I don't know how much that, there are a lot of factors going on here. Is the screenplay better than the screenplay for The Sting? That's a pretty good screenplay.
That's a fucking great screenplay.
But it's not important. It's not about rape and incest and fraud and
water rights,
rich people and poor people and history and it's a confection, but man, it's well done. So like, how do you compare? I don't know. I mean, I enjoy this movie for a lot of reasons. I think the screenplay is fine.
Interesting. That's cool. I appreciate that perspective.
Yeah. I mean, I like, and that's not, that's not damning with faint praise. I'm not saying it's only okay, but it's just like, it's a fine screenplay, but I'm not knocked over by its ingenuity. It's like, okay, it did a thing, it did a mystery and, it told the story of a main character that I think people totally forget because it's Jack Nicholson. I think they're like, oh yeah, he plays this, really smart, shrewd, cynical private eye. But then when you watch the movie, it's like, no, he's Robert Redford could have played this role and may have carried off some of those qualities because you probably would have, or Paul Newman. Ooh. And you would have been like, yeah, I see them as someone who is learning hard lessons about the cruelty of the world.
Speaking of Newman, have you all gone back to rewatch Twilight recently?
Yes.
So good, right?
Within the last year. It's so,
same.
It's a weird ass movie, man.
I love that.
It's weird.
It's bonkers, but great cast. I love Robert Denton.
Oh my God, James Garner is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Reese Witherspoon. You get to see more of her than you might have ever expected.
Yeah, I had forgotten about that part of it.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and Susan Sarandon's great.
Yeah.
Have you seen this one, Chris?
LA movie.
I have not.
Oh, it's a great. It's like mid 90s, right? Mid to late 90s.
Yeah, mid to late 90s.
Yeah, so it's like 90s, sort of noir.
It's set in LA.
Yeah, but it's also like sort of turns a lot of private eye tropes, inside out.
Oh yeah, because it's
for sure.
I really love the fact that it is, these were older actors actually, playing their age, and it has a lot to do with, mortality and things happen to them. It's a really interesting story, I thought.
Is Chinatown one of the quintessential LA films? When we talk about like movies about LA, is Chinatown in that conversation, or is it kind of
absolutely?
Is it the example that you point to, or is there something better than Chinatown as a quintessential LA film?
I don't know. Cullen, what do you think? Is there?
It's up there. I feel like there's different types of LA films, and then there's different areas of LA and different eras.
Yep. Well, we were talking about Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I mean,
there you go. That's like quintessential 80s LA, right?
Yeah. There was a movie called Miracle Mile with Matthew Modine.
I love that movie.
That a lot of people are like, oh my God, that's so LA. I mean, there's Suburbia, which was a Penelope Spheris movie. I mean, like a lot of weird, offbeat movies that capture bits and pieces of LA, but yeah.
Well, that's the thing about as someone who has been deeply entrenched in LA culture for the last couple months, the aspect of the LA culture I'd never had any experience with is the punk culture of LA in the 80s, 70s and 80s. And like, that's not even something I had any frame of reference for, but now I can't unsee that part of LA during the late 70s and early 80s.
Did you watch The Decline and Fall yet?
I haven't yet.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Dudes?
I haven't even heard of Dudes.
It's her like weird Western with John Cryer and Flea.
Yeah.
From the 80s. I love this movie. It's great. They're Queens punks who get tired of the scene and go on a road trip out west. And while they're camping in the desert, a vicious gang led by Lee Ving, the singer from Fear, attacks them, and someone gets killed, and then John Cryer and his buddy decide to stick around and get revenge, and like the buddy winds up taking like mushrooms or LSD and starts having weird flashbacks that they're at like Little Bighorn, and it's a bonkers movie. I love it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of this. That sounds crazy.
And it's Penelope Spheris, and Penelope Spheris is amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
But I mean, when I think of LA in that time period, this will be the movie that I use as kind of the thing that sets the stage for that time and place. And it's very, again, like you said, Richard, everything feels real because it is real, because these locations still exist. A lot of them, not all of them, I'm sure.
Oh, To Live and Die in LA, oddly, is a very LA movie, or perhaps not oddly. There's a bunch. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of TV shows that capture it really well, I think.
Story?
Yeah, sort of.
Steve Martin with, Sarah Jessica Parker, right? And the talking traffic sign.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously coming from a fairly stylized, comedy voice. But like, if you just want to know what LA looked like in the 70s, just watch the Rockford Files.
Oh,
and it's just
so good.
You'll just get, over the years, you'll see him go to every corner of LA, and those people, like the character types he encounters are very LA 70s people.
So I just pulled up a Time Out article of the best Los Angeles movies of all time.
Oh, good.
And number 1 is Chinatown.
Okay.
What do y'all think number 2 is?
LA Confidential? Mulholland Drive?
Mulholland Drive is 4. Number 2, they say is La La Land.
Oh, fuck off. I mean, maybe Richard, maybe what, late aughts?
I
LA?
get it. I mean, I get what they're saying. There's definitely like, oh my God, they're on Mulholland. Oh my God, they're on the freeways, But I mean, I don't know if that movie makes
hyper romanticized LA.
Yeah, it's like,
La La Land is literally what people who don't live in LA think LA is. Like, that's the way. That's the way I watched La La Land. I was like, this is not even like, this is a romanticized realm of LA that doesn't really exist.
Exactly. And I would almost say that LA Story's fanciful version of LA feels more like an accurate fanciful version of LA than La La Land does.
What's the third one, Cullen?
Sorry, I was more interested in the bottom of the list where like Them shows up at like 48. 3 is Long Goodbye, which is a great movie.
I was
Cullen, Elliot Gould.
Cullen, you're a man after my own heart. I was more interested at the bottom of the list.
Wait, what did we just quickly go through? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, let's go through let's get to 10 because I'm curious.
Top 10, yeah.
So Mulholland Drive is 4, Sunset Boulevard 5,
Okay.
Kiss Me Deadly 6, Shortcut 7, Blade Runner 8, The Player 9, and Big Lebowski 10.
Okay, Blade Runner. That's not even fair. Come on.
And the more those older noir movies. I mean, I don't know. At a certain point, I mean, come on.
How many of those are old noir movies? Like half of the list, right?
Well, Kiss Me Deadly, and what was the other one?
Sunset Boulevard.
Or Sunset Boulevard. Yeah, it's like those were studio products. I don't know how many of those filmed in like they're about LA, but it's not like they evoke what it feels like to be. Fucking, the Three Stooges filmed all their stuff in LA, sort of the Marx Brothers. That doesn't mean that that's what LA feels like. I don't know. I mean, Sunset Boulevard and The Player and all that shit, that's about Hollywood.
Yeah.
And that's a whole
That's a part of LA. That's not LA as a whole.
And the attitude is always...
It's like Las Vegas only being the Strip. It's like there's so much more.
Like toward the bottom of the list, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, if you want a good Las Vegas movie, The Night Stalker, that's a Las Vegas movie. Because I
still need to see that.
That's what, because that's what Las Vegas felt like in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like,
That's what I imagine. That's what I always imagine Las Vegas is a guy who's, with a bottle at his typewriter going, this city's fucking crazy, guys. Here are the vampires that live here.
Because it was not stylized towards Las Vegas. It was stylized toward, 70s horror for TV. But I mean, there's a little, when he's just driving down the strip, it's like, oh yeah, that, you know, yeah, there's a sign for Don Rickles and Steve Lawrence.
Exactly. I don't know how I feel about a list putting Blade Runner on there. That feels like
that's bullshit.
Yeah, that's like that's like hanging a lantern on it. Like, it's future
that's
LA.
being clever.
Yeah. I mean, I love Blade Runner, as I'm sure we all do, but
yeah,
it's not LA. It's not even modeled after LA in the movie. It's clearly modeled after like Tokyo and Hong Kong and other cities that have high rises and are urban sprawl. And I know LA has urban sprawl, but it doesn't have the kind of urban sprawl that, you know, cities in Asia like Tokyo and Hong Kong do.
You know, okay, so I said that Rockford Files is 70s LA. So if you want a more contemporary LA and you actually do want to know what Hollywood is like, if you can stomach it, and it was awesome when it was on, maybe a little less awesome now, but Entourage.
I was about to say, I knew what you were going to say before you even said it.
Yeah. Entourage, when that show was on, which was what, 15 years ago?
Something like that.
Yeah. I watched that and I'm like, yes, this is about the Hollywood that I know. And the most telling characteristic for me was the fact that people were enjoying themselves.
People weren't totally miserable.
People weren't like, you know, like, oh my God, I wrote this about my grandfather and Hollywood ruined it. It's like, we're all fucking lucky. They're paying us a shit ton of money to have fun and do drugs and get laid and drive around in nice cars. And we're just going to enjoy this. That's the Hollywood I know.
I assumed you were going to say something like Californication.
I was not a fan.
Yeah, I figured as much.
I didn't see it.
Richard, I'm not. Is it because
I don't even know what that is.
It's a TV show with David Duchovny. It was a Showtime show.
Yeah,
I was thinking California with a K, and I'm like, no, I haven't seen that either. And then I started thinking about the Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
Yeah.
And
you know what movie? Ryan Johnson, was it his first movie, Brick?
Yep.
It takes place in an Orange County high school. Yeah, that if you want to know what, you know, Orange County feels like, watch that. Yeah,
is this Jack Nicholson's signature role? Is this?
I mean, it's up there for him.
Where does it rank for y'all for his roles? Because he has some iconic ones. I mean, he has so many actors don't get to have as many iconic roles as Jack Nicholson does.
This might be one of his last legitimate roles. After this, he's doing Jack Nicholson. I mean, The Shining. You know,
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is right after this.
It's right after this?
Yeah. That came out in 75.
Okay, so these two are fantastic. Those are because they're performances. He's not just being Jack Nicholson. What does he do? What's the one right after that?
Missouri Breaks, which I really want to see. I mean, before this, I mean, Passenger. I guess that's also 75. That's like the Antonioni movie.
What's after it, like leading up to The Shining?
There's also some good stuff before this we haven't mentioned, like Last Detail is great, Carnal Knowledge, 5 Easy Pieces. It's a fucking bonkers movie, but On a Clear Day You Can See Forever. He has a small role in that.
The Shooting.
Oh, Shooting is great.
Shooting is one of those movies I happened upon at a video store and just bought the DVD of it and like, fuck, Jesus.
Look,
but yeah, so
I'm not saying he didn't do some great roles after The Shining, but I think after The Shining, you're watching Jack Nicholson. It's very hard to see anything he does and just sort of get lost in the performance that isn't informed by Jack. I mean, look, I loved him in terms of endearment. But it's more like you're getting the Joker and
that was when Cullen and I had our brief aside about Two Jakes. That's the thing about the Two Jakes that feels so weird is it doesn't feel like JJ Gittes. It feels like Jack Nicholson. Yeah. It literally just, I don't know about you, Cullen, but watching the Two Jakes, I was like, this is just Jack Nicholson in this movie being Jack Nicholson, like doing Jack Nicholson things. Because like Richard said at this point, like I can't kind of unsee him as just the sly, devious, good-looking older man that he kind of does that whole thing from what would seem to be the 90s on, at least. Right? You know what I mean, Cullen?
Yeah, I mean, I am trying to actively forget the Two Jakes. It just doesn't... I mean, that actually just feels like a bad Private Eye, it's not trying to be a satire, but it just feels like a bad satire. But it's like worse because they're trying to be serious, and they're trying, instead of water rights, it's mineral rights,
right?
And oil rights, and it's like you're literally just trying to take the template of Chinatown and like beat by beat hit it again, and it just doesn't work.
Well, then they were gonna make a third one too. Don't forget
The Three Jakes.
Yeah, it was actually an even better title, Gittes versus Gittes. And
Really?
it was going to be and it was going to be about the third thing, Cullen, the third resource. You know what the third resource is? There's mineral rights, there's water rights,
animal rights.
Yes, it was about Jake Gittes and his dog, little Jake Gittes. No, it was about land. It was going to be about land rights. Just because the first movie's about water rights doesn't mean everything else has to be about that. Like, what the fuck is this even? When I started watching the Two Jakes, I was like, okay, great, this is going somewhere interesting. And then all of a sudden, it's like, this is about mineral rights. Same conclusion you did, Cullen. I was like, oh, okay, so you're just telling the same story again. And then the ending is just as kind of, the ending tries to do what Chinatown does and fails horribly at it on top of everything else. Like, it's just a poor facsimile. And if you had not told me that the same gentleman who wrote Chinatown wrote this movie, I would not have believed you. I would have been like, there's no fucking way.
So I have a question about two other Jack Nicholson movies from the 80s that I've been meaning to see. And maybe y'all have seen them. John Huston's Prizzi's Honor.
Yeah.
From 85. You've seen it, or?
Oh yeah. I recall that it was good and entertaining and worth seeing, and yeah.
Okay, I mean, I like the cast, Kathleen Turner, and then Ironweed from 87 with Meryl Streep.
Haven't seen it.
An alcoholic drifter spends Halloween in his hometown of Albany, New York, after returning there for the first time in decades.
This is not a movie I hear people talk about.
Great cast, though. So Nicholson, Streep, Carol Baker, Fred Gwynne, Tom Waits, Nathan Lane.
Well, yeah, which makes it even more striking that nobody's
talking about
it. And they don't talk about it in a bad way, but they certainly don't talk about it like, oh my God, of course. Like, you have to, it's sort of like,
Well,
like,
I'm from Albany and I've never heard that expression. Yeah, it's from Utica. That's why.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think you're right, though, Richard. Like, I think I honestly think probably the Joker was the role that kind of catalyzed Jack Nicholson into a direction that, it's not the end of the world. Like, that role, you would really hate to be well known for that role, right? No, like, come the fuck on. Like, his Joker is the Joker every other Joker is almost measured against.
Right, but by then, I mean, again, I still say post Shining, everything now was, we're going to see Jack Nicholson, and we want him to be Jack Nicholson. And he sort of became larger than life. He did Witches of Eastwick, the George Miller movie. And it was like, now he's playing Satan. I think he did a movie where he plays a wolf. I mean, there was a lot of... He was playing these sort of larger than life characters.
Then he also did the Postman Always Rings Twice remake.
That film where Jack Nicholson plays a wolf is aptly titled Wolf.
Not The Wolf.
No, not The Wolf, just Wolf.
I feel like that sounds like, a reboot. Where they just take off...
Right.
Or they add the...
Yeah. But that was directed by Mike Nichols, so...
Whoa.
Oh, my God. Okay. Yeah. I mean, again, if it's starring Jack Nicholson and it's directed by Mike Nichols and it's not carnal
knowledge... Keep going. You know who the music's composed by? Ennio Morricone.
Whoa.
Jesus.
And...
I kind of want to see that.
Yeah, me too now, but also... I guess it's been somewhat well received.
So you should have another month next year where instead of movies like, why haven't I seen these? These are classics. It's like, why haven't I seen these ... Because I've never heard of them before.
I mean, there are a lot of these films in these really well-known actors' repertoires that, like, it sounds like such a cool movie, and then you just watch it, you're just like, what the fuck happened?
I'm reminded of an anecdote, and I might have used this on a previous podcast, so I have. My apologies. I understand you never want to have me on again.
Oh yeah, totally. Totally.
But it was when Soderbergh had been approached to direct Out of Sight, and he said no. And the producer said, dude, reconsider. Things don't line up this well, this often. And I think that's a pretty great movie, and I think it was good of him to do that. But I mean, these people have to keep working, and not everything you're going to do is going to knock it out of the park, even if you have the right people on paper. And you mentioned that earlier, Richard, with the half on one side, half on the other.
Yeah. But you go with what you know, and the studios are like, well, the director, actors, genre, no one's going to get fired for taking a chance on this. So I give it a shot.
Do you guys know the last time that Jack Nicholson made a film?
It's 20. I mean, I just looked, so it was like 2010.
Yeah, it's been 11 years.
What was it, about Schmidt?
Fuck, Richard, with such disdain in your voice. What was it? About Schmidt? No, it was How Do You Know, the James L. Brooks film that equally got forgotten.
How do you know? It was that. By the way, James L. Brooks. I mean, like 2-3 amazingly great movies, and then Bazumba.
And well, then The Simpsons, forever.
Well, okay. Yes.
Hashtag, do I really need to work here?
I don't consider The Simpsons to be a James L. Brooks joint. Mary Tyler Moore show, yes.
James L. Brooks is in the title credits of The Simpsons.
Yeah, but that's fine. Okay. That's like,
that's
fucking,
fair.
You know what I mean? It's like,
no, I get you.
Because he's that guy, but look, he's not in the writer's room right now working on season 34.
Thank God.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm not sure anyone competent is in that writer room, but I mean, it is The Simpsons past season 15. So what do I know? So Cullen, what would you give Chinatown out of 5 if you couldn't give it 5?
If I couldn't give it 5?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, because I knew you were going to give it 5, as I'm sure we probably all will, right? So Cullen, 5 out of 5?
Yeah.
Is that your first time on this podcast giving a movie a 5?
I think so. I mean, since we're going to be talking about Burt Reynolds later this summer, it will not be the last.
No, it won't.
So excited for Burt Reynolds.
What about you, Richard?
I will also give it a 5. It is not my first 5 on this podcast.
What was your first 5?
The Devils.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Is that the Ken Russell movie?
Oh my God.
I have not seen that one.
Oh my God. It's Cullen. Drop everything and watch it. It is like Chinatown in how well made it is, and how like singular of a vision it is. And man, the making of that movie is just as exciting as the making of this movie, I bet.
I will try and track this one down. I've been meaning to see it for a long time.
Yeah, emphasis on track it down, because it is actually hard to find.
It's great. It's great.
And have you, Cullen, have you seen a lot of stuff with Oliver Reed in it?
I have seen some, and he's magnificent.
Well, The Devils might be his magnum opus. It is. His performance in The Devils it's one for the ages. I mean, if you haven't seen it, go watch it and then check out when Richard and I talked about it last year, because I don't think, Richard, we've ever been as glowing on a podcast about a movie as we have on The Devils.
The Devils was my kind of movie.
Yeah.
Isn't it the same story that they tell in Mother Joan of the Angels? Am I thinking of something else? I
don't think so. This is there's the Venn diagrams are sort of overlapping because there is a convent.
Yeah.
But he's sort of the main religious figure in the community. Anyway, check it out. You'll love it.
I would be so curious to hear your thoughts on it, Cullen, because it is like Chinatown. It's like one of those movies where like explaining and talking about it really does not do it justice.
It's beautiful and it becomes very difficult to watch.
Yeah, it's beautiful and horrifying at the same time.
It's like a Kubrick vibe to it, but check it out. Anyway, yeah. So Chinatown, see it. I'll give it 2 thumbs up.
Right. I would give it a 5 as well. I mean, I don't even think that there's a score that it would deserve below 5. It's again, it, like I said, I had high expectations for it, and they were exceeded and then some. And I'm not at all surprised that they were exceeded. So on that note, let's take a break and we'll play a preview for the next Culturecast of April.
Ooh-wee. It's gonna be a scorcher today.
Universal Pictures presents a new film from Spike Lee.
Good morning, Miss Mother Sister.
Now, Mookie, don't work too hard today. The man says it's gonna be hot as the devil.
I've been here 25 years. The South's famous pizzeria is here to stay. Trust me.
Mookie, the last time I trusted you, we ended up with a son.
I know you can't stand it. You can't stand it.
Hey, Sal, how we got the brothers on the wall here?
You want brothers on the wall? Love. Get your own place. You can do what you want to do.
What I tell you about that noise? What I tell you about them pictures?
You talk to him, brother. Talk to him.
You the man.
No, you the man.
No, you the man.
No, you the man. The first time you turn your back, boom. Right here, man, in the back. Y'all take a chill. You like to sign a petition to boycott Sal's famous pizzeria?
Hear me, what you ought to do is boycott that no-good barber that messed up your head.
And that's the double truth. Fight the power. Fight the power.
You know, deep down inside, I think you wish you were black.
Who told you to step on my sneakers? Who told you to walk on my side of the block? Who told you to be in my neighborhood?
I own this brownstone.
Who told you to buy a brownstone on my block, in my neighborhood, on my side of the street?
I can't even hear myself think!
From Spike Lee, director of School Days and She's Gotta Have It.
Good people, please. If we don't stop this and stop it now, we're gonna do something we're gonna regret for the rest of our lives. Doctor?
Come on, what?
Always do the right thing.
That's it?
That's it.
I got it. I'm gone.
That's right. On the next Culturecast of April, we will be talking about Do the Right Thing, and I will be joined by Jess and Father Malone. So that'll be fun.
It will.
I'm excited. It'll be my first Spike Lee film as well. So.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
You're having a Catholic priest come on to talk about it.
Right. Hey, as Father Malone put it, Richard, he outlived the real Father Malone, so the title is his now.
Oh, all right.
There you go. He claimed it. It's over. That's how it works, apparently. So that's how it goes. I guess Hal Holbrook is no longer with us, so the other Father Malone is the real Father Malone. So there you go. So, Cullen, until the next time you're on the podcast, where can people find you?
I am still at pulp-serenade.com, and I finally have my own domain with my name. I was able to, buy CullenGallagher.com.
Nice.
I don't know. Someone used to have it for years, and I just randomly check every year, and it was up for $8, and I'm like, it is mine. It is worth $8. That's all I am worth. Spent. That is all my name is worth. But yeah, I have trying to keep all my articles and shit that I've done. So yeah, I'll be spending some time there.
What about you, Richard? Where can people find you?
I'll be here in my office reading Day Keen. And I will also, I sent Cullen an alarming text email, just a picture of a Day Keen book. And I'm like, this is your fault. And he's like, oh, awesome. And then he's like, oh, wow, it's Richard. Oh, okay. All right. Anyway, I will be on HBO Max as your humble co-executive producer, now executive producer of Titans.
Whoa.
Season 1 and 2 available now. Season
That's awesome,
3
man.
Available in July. So,
what about season 4, Richard?
Still waiting to hear.
Fingers crossed. Oh, Lord. As for me, you can find me on Twitter at Christmas Claus. That's where Richard and I and Mike, that name that I chose is because we do a Christmas themed podcast from time to time, though it's all of a sudden a lot less Christmas themed than it used to be, talking about Rankin and Bass movies. But I do a bunch of other podcasts. You can find them on my Twitter, Christmas Claus. You can find this podcast on the internet at culturecast.com. And as always, patreon.com/culturecast. I completely forgot. And one other thing I wanted to mention, because I forgot to mention it, If you go on YouTube and you search Polynesian Town.
Polynesian Town?
Yes, it is a SCTV satirical version of Chinatown. And it features Dr. John, and it's amazing. And if you've never seen it, you should check it out.
What?
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's got John Candy playing the J.J. Gittes role. It's amazing. You should check it out.
Oh my goodness.
And that's the little final bit of Chinatown, because don't forget, Richard, it's Polynesia Town.
Good night, everybody.
We should have just done Polynesia Town.